think of Vera Wang, we think glamorous wedding gowns that we could maybe only afford in our dreams. But there's a much more affordable way to wear Vera Wang these days, and she is here to talk with us about that today. Hey, Vera.
Hi, Paige. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I am actually not a fashionista, so I have invited a guest into the studio today also. Nina Tai is a senior at the College of Textiles at North Carolina State University, and she's got a couple questions for you. Nina, why don't you hop on in?
Okay. Hi,
okay.
Paige.
Hi.
Hi, Vera. This is Nina.
Hi, Nina.
Hi. I just want to talk about your spring line for a little bit, but before we do that, can I ask you, is there anyone or anything in particular that influences your lines?
Is there anyone that inspires my lines?
Yes.
Well, I think there's always a woman in my head and in my heart, and I think it's about a modern woman who lives an active life, who loves fashion, enjoys fashion, and feels pretty confident. And that's the kind of woman that I think I designed for.
Well, thank you. Well, can you tell us a little bit about your new spring line and the trends that we'll be seeing this season?
Let me tell you, Nina, it's all going to be about prints, because it's going to be a really fantastic print year and a way to really freshen up your wardrobe of solids by bringing elements of print, shine, and texture into your wardrobe.
Well, a lot of people know that you design clothing, but a lot of people don't know that you also design for the home as well. What kind of trends do you think that we should expect to see in your home fashions?
Well, certainly in my Simply Vera Wang line for Kohl's, there will be very sophisticated color mixed with white. And we have a wonderful bed here in the studio. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's really got shades of grape, gray, with white sheets with little lavender trim. And I think there's a femininity and a masculinity, so you get this sort of yin and yang. So the bedroom is just a luxurious place for men and women.
Oh, wow, that's really nice. Well, how do you continue to be inspired for your upcoming collections and future trends?
Well, I think that as a designer who designs at so many price levels, I'm very much inspired by what we do at the collection level. And I think the wonderful thing about Kohl's is I'm able to bring in a real lifestyle component into the fashion. We're very heavy on fashion for Kohl's, but there's also a real ease to it all, a real lifestyle, things you can really wear and make a part of your life. It's not about an age, it's about being able to mix all of this clothing together with what you own.
You know, you mentioned that, and you're right. I saw you had one of the models, I think, that was there on the bed. It looked like something, you know, anybody would wear. We were talking about beforehand, we were wondering if some of the things we saw might not really be so realistic in terms of things that people would wear down here. You know, what flies in New York doesn't necessarily fly down here. Can you tell us a little bit about what your models have on today?
Well, certainly. I have a little Audrey Hepburn look first on Andresa, and she's wearing a little Hepburn top that I call it, in a wonderful, sophisticated print. And it can be worn over leggings, it can be worn with flip-flops, it can be worn with your jeans. It's really about a very beautiful, simple shape with the little stones on front for a decorative element. She's also wearing a hat, a sun hat, a floppy sun hat that I adore because I'm a big hat girl. But I think hats add a lot of attitude to anything anyone wears. And then she's carrying a handbag that's one of the hugest trends now in handbags today, which is a mixture of shiny and matte. The handles are really shiny and the bag is matte, and it's got a real spectator look, and we call it the Sharpay because it's also got a magnetic closing, so all of those wrinkles and everything just shut. And she's wearing cuffed shorts, which makes the look very citified with a high heel, but you could easily wear this top with anything. And the same goes for the next two outfits. Simona's wearing one of those bright prints that I'm talking about that's floral, that's got shades of purple, brown, black, and white in it. And she's carrying a handbag with a high shine. And it goes from black to grape to lavender and gray, and it's ombre. And that's another example of how accessories can bring real color and pizzazz to your wardrobe this summer. And then finally, I have Sophie, and she's in a hand-painted T-shirt look that she's dressed down with little khaki cut cutoffs and flat Roman sandals. But she's carrying a very, very prim, vintage-inspired handbag that's made out of leather and 4 colors of straw that I love. And that way she's dressing up her look with the handbag. And of course the scarves for me are the new necklaces. So that's a way of interpreting comfortable dressing, but also make it very fashion forward.
So cute. Quickly before we go, Nina, do you have any more questions for Vera before we go?
Yes, I have one more. Do you have any advice for a graduating student looking to go into the fashion industry?
Absolutely. I think the most important thing is to get a job and to go work for somebody. If you're lucky enough to work for someone that you admire. If not, just to get started. You should be paid, in my opinion, to learn. And that's the greatest opportunity you can have.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vera. Your line looks wonderful. I know this was a big treat for Nina to talk with you, too, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you,
Paige.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And Nina, thank you for being here.
Thanks.
And thanks for watching.